Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Listen to Speak Podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Ryan. We're really happy to have you with us for another fun and helpful episode to improve your English. So, Sarah, how was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend? It was really nice. Thanks for asking. A good mix of relaxing and doing small activities. How about yours?
Mine was good too. Busy, but in a good way. Weekends are always a chance to recharge after a long week.
Very true. And that brings us to today's topic. How to talk about your weekend in English. This is one of the most common conversation topics in daily life.
Exactly. Whether you're speaking with friends, coworkers, classmates, or your English teacher, people always ask, "How was your weekend? What did you do this weekend? Did you do anything fun?" So today, we'll teach you useful phrases, vocabulary, past tense verbs, and natural examples. All right, let's start with Saturday. Sarah, what did you do on Saturday?
Well, my Saturday started with a family lunch. My parents came over and we had a delicious meal together. After lunch, the kids played in the yard and it was a very peaceful afternoon.
That sounds lovely. My Saturday was a little different. In the evening, I went out with a few friends. We decided to try a new cafe that opened in the city. You know, the one with the really unique pastries?
Oh, yes, I've heard about that place. How was it?
It was great. We stayed there for a couple of hours, talking, laughing, and catching up. Spending time with friends is always relaxing, right?
Absolutely. Socializing is important. It helps you recharge emotionally.
Then later that night, I went to a birthday party for a friend. There was music, dancing, and lots of food. I even tried singing, but I won't say it was good.
Oh, come on. I'm sure you sounded wonderful. Birthday parties are always so much fun. My Saturday night was much quieter. After the family lunch, I spent the evening with my kids. We watched a movie, made popcorn, and just relaxed on the sofa. Sometimes a calm night at home is the best, especially after a busy week.
Totally agree. Spending time with your loved ones is precious. It doesn't have to be a big event. Small moments matter.
So let's move to Sunday. My Sunday morning started with going to church. It's part of my weekly routine. It gives me peace, gratitude, and a positive start to the week.
That's beautiful. Many people have Sunday traditions: church, meditation, visiting family, or relaxing outdoors.
After church, I had a light lunch, and later we went to the park. The kids rode their bikes while I enjoyed the sunny weather. Simple moments, but very special.
My Sunday was simple too. I spent the morning doing chores around the house, cleaning, organizing, laundry. Not fun, but necessary.
Yes, someone has to do it. What about the afternoon?
I found a quiet corner at home and read a book for a while. It was a great way to relax and recharge.
Okay, listeners, let's talk about how you can describe your weekend. Here's some useful questions. How was your weekend? What did you do this weekend? Did you do anything special? And some good answers. My weekend was relaxing. I had a great weekend. On Saturday, I went to. On Sunday, I spent time with.
And remember, use simple past tense. I went, I had, I watched, I spent. Not present tense.
Yes, past tense is key.
Here are some popular weekend activities you can talk about. Family lunch, going out with friends, birthday parties, watching movies, going to the park, doing chores, reading, shopping, gardening, playing or watching sports, exercising, relaxing at home.
Exactly. Your weekend doesn't need to be exciting to talk about. Even a quiet weekend is interesting when you describe it well.
Let's quickly review our tips. Keep it simple. Use descriptive words: relaxing, busy, fun, peaceful. Use the past tense. Add small details. Don't worry about mistakes. Ask others about their weekend too.
Great tips. And remember, talking about your weekend is a great way to practice English and connect with people.
Now, let's do a little practice session together. I'll say a sentence, and you, our listeners, can repeat after me. Ready?
Let's go.
My weekend was relaxing. On Saturday, I went to a cafe with my friends. On Sunday, I stayed at home and rested.
Great job. And remember, even if you're listening while driving, cooking, or walking, just repeating in your mind helps too.
Exactly. The goal is not perfection, the goal is progress. Every time you talk about your weekend, you get more confident and more fluent.
Let's give our listeners even more helpful sentences they can use. I didn't do much this weekend. I spent most of my time relaxing. I visited my relatives. I went shopping for groceries. I binge watched a TV series. I tried a new restaurant. I went for a long walk. I caught up on sleep.
And here are some follow-up questions you can ask others. Really? How was it? Who did you go with? Did you enjoy it? Would you do it again? What was your favorite part?
Using follow-up questions makes conversations smoother and shows the other person that you're interested. This is a great way to build better relationships and practice English.
Okay, now let's quickly talk about some common mistakes English learners make when describing their weekend. Saying, I go to park. Correct, I went to the park. Saying, I'm stay home. Correct, I stayed home. Saying, I was go to party. Correct, I went to a party.
Right. And the number one mistake is using present tense instead of past tense. Weekend activities are finished actions, so always use the past tense.
Let's give our amazing listeners a little challenge.
Yes, your challenge is to write 5 to 8 sentences about your weekend using the phrases from today's episode.
Type your sentences in the comments. We read them all and we love seeing your progress. And before we end, guess what? In the next episode, we're going to talk about how to describe your daily routine in English. This is another super useful topic for everyday conversation.
Yes, we'll give you natural expressions, real examples, and a fun conversation like today's.
We want to remind you of something very important. Learning English is not just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about building confidence.
Yes, and confidence doesn't come from studying quietly. It comes from using the language, even if you make mistakes, especially if you make mistakes.
Every small effort counts. One sentence today, a short conversation tomorrow, a weekend story next week.
And suddenly, you'll look back and realize, wow, I can actually talk about my life in English.
By the way, we want to give a big shout out to all our amazing listeners who leave comments and share their weekend stories.
We love reading them. Honestly, your stories are funny, interesting, creative, and sometimes even inspiring.
Yes. So, if you want to be featured in one of our next episodes, just write your weekend paragraph in the comments. We might read yours in the next show.
You might think, talking about my weekend is too simple, but actually, it's one of the most practical ways to improve your English.
Because it teaches you past tense. natural conversation flow, real-life situations, personal storytelling, useful vocabulary.
And you can practice it every week. Your weekend happens again and again, so you always have something new to talk about.
And here is something interesting. Your weekend doesn't need to be exciting to be useful. Even if you say, I stayed home, I relaxed, I cleaned my room, it still helps you practice English.
Exactly. It's not about having an amazing weekend. It's about learning how to describe your life in English. That's what makes you a confident speaker.
Yes, and the more you talk about simple things, the easier bigger topics become.
Here's a tip I love. Try to talk about your weekend while it's happening. For example, on Saturday, you can think, I'm having lunch with my family. And on Sunday, I'm watching a movie with my kids.
Yes, you're basically training your brain in real time. And later, when someone asks you, how was your weekend? It becomes much easier to answer because you've already practiced it in your mind.
Speaking English is like exercising. If you do it once a month, nothing changes. But if you do it a little bit every weekend, it becomes a habit.
And once it becomes a habit, you won't feel nervous anymore. You won't think, oh no, how do I explain this? Instead, you'll say, let me tell you about my weekend, with confidence and ease.
That's the goal, to speak naturally, calmly, comfortably.
And remember, no weekend is too boring. Every weekend has a story. Maybe you cooked something new. Maybe you took a nap. Maybe you watched the show. Maybe you visited your parents. Maybe you bought groceries. Maybe you just relaxed.
These simple things are perfect for English practice. You don't need a trip to Paris to have something to say.
Yes, everyday moments are just as important. All right, we're almost at the end of today's episode. But before we go, we want to leave you with one last thought. English is not only something you study, it's something you live.
Yes, try to connect English to your real life, your routine, your weekend, your feelings, your plans. When English becomes part of your daily life, everything changes.
And we're so proud of you for listening, practicing, and growing with us.
You're doing amazing. Don't stop. Even small progress is progress.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and learned some useful phrases to talk about your weekend in English.
And remember, your journey doesn't end here. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.
Before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and of course,
Subscribe to Listen to Speak podcast. Your support helps us create more lessons, more conversations, and more episodes just for you.
thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We appreciate every single one of you.
Have a wonderful week. Keep practicing, and we'll see you
In the next episode, bye!